Happy lunch hour, guys. All right, I want to bring something up here that maybe people think about, maybe people don't. All right, but this is something that just happened to me. Uh, y'all know that I've mentioned many times about fall putting gardens to bed, and what I like to do is put my grass clippings over the bed. All right, and so I went out, hooked up my lawn sweeper, okay, to sweep up all the grass clippings, leaves, whatever it would be, so I can dump them into the garden. Sure, I could rake them, but that's a lot of work and very slow. Here's the problem I face. If you can see this, the gears on the wheel are stripped. I've used this lawn sweeper a total of 4 times, and the gears are trashed. So I have to replace them. Now, fortunately, I bought this April 6th. I still have the receipt. Yes, I saved those things. And I called up AgriFab, who makes the product, and they are sending me a new set of wheels. I will get them next week, and I will be able to continue to sweep leaves, sweep grass clippings up in my yard. Where this brings a point up is that is a critical implement for me to have on a homestead. Like I said, I could get out and rake all this stuff up, but if I look at my yard right now, and I will show you this, you will see there's quite a bit of grass clippings out there that need to be picked up. Personally, I don't feel like spending an entire day sweating my balls off raking all that up. All right. So it brings up this point. What do you have in the way of backup equipment, backup parts for things that are critical? We've all talked about things like, spare parts for your car and uh, anything like that. I know I've got oil filters and oil just in case, so I can change the oil in the car if I can't get the oil or if it costs so damn much that I can't afford it. Uh, but what about your tools? Let's say you had a shovel, a rake, a lawn sweeper, a lawnmower, anything, and it breaks. And there isn't a Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's to go get another one. There isn't a company to call saying this is still under warranty. I want a replacement part. What happens then? Do you know how to fix it? There's no way I can fix that. Okay, it's a piece of molded plastic, which brings me to my other point of Chinese crap. Okay, which is one reason why I have no problem if we ever completely cut ties with China. It'd make the world a better place because everything they sell is junk. Uh, AgriFab is a long time American company. Has now outsourced their manufacturing to China because, it's cheaper and we can make more profit. Our quality sucks, but okay. And I know what everybody's going to say. Well, you talk about these solar generators and they're all made in China. Yeah, they are. You know what? And I also expect every one of them to break as soon as the warranty's over. Uh, that's backups to backups to backups to backups. But we have to have spare parts for anything that you can think of that you are going to need. As silly as it is, I know if some of you guys have told me you have a spare set of tires for your vehicle or something for when you need them. Okay. But, even then, do you have the tool to plug a tire? It's not difficult. I mean, it's just a little bit of tool and a string of rubber, and you stick it in there and you're done. Okay. But what happens? What are your plans when something that you need to use no longer works? You got hand tools. I'm talking construction type tools. You've got a hammer, you've got a saw, you've got a hand drill, whatever it would be. You know, what happens when the handle on the hammer breaks? It's going to happen. It happens to all of us. What happens when the saw blade, the teeth chip, or the handle on your saw breaks? I mean, used to be they made them out of a good piece of cherry wood or something like that. Now, if they're wood, they're made out of pine, and most of them are made out of plastic. And what happens to plastic? Oh, it breaks. So, do you have backups to handle any of the projects that you are going to need to handle? I mean, you look at weaponry, okay? And, another topic. And I'll just use an AR-15 because it's one we can talk about, okay? And this goes for anything, though. A lot of us have extra lowers, extra bolt carriers, whatever it would be. Don't have the whole weapon in itself, but you have spare parts. You need to have those for your garden implements. Hell, that's growing your food, okay? Little things. Do you have spare light bulbs? Yeah, I mean, how many people have spare light bulbs in the house? I mean, not a couple. I mean, 5 boxes of them, 30. Because what if the power does go out for 5 years? Okay? What if we do go into complete SHTF and there are no stores? It's great that you have your backup power, but if you don't have something to power, again, it's a very good heavy paperweight. Generator make a great doorstop if you can't turn the lights on, because you don't have any light bulbs. These are really things that you got to look at when you're prepping. Everybody wants. We all have a tendency, including me, to touch the surface. Got all the food. I've got all my water. I've got all my weaponry. But then you start looking at what am I going to need to continue to do what I'm doing now, right? And I know somebody's going to say, well, gee, you're not going to be mowing your lawn in an SHTF situation. I've covered this before. You better be mowing your lawn in an SHTF situation by any means necessary, even if it's a push mower. Multiple reasons. Tall grass attracts bugs. And I'm not talking just mosquitoes, fleas, ticks, that sort of stuff. Tall grass attracts snakes. If you want to worry about snakes in your yard, hey, leave the grass alone. It also creates good concealment for somebody. If you've got grass that's a foot high in your yard, somebody can low crawl through there. If you've got grass that's 3 feet high and you can't see out to the road or whatever it is, you're a sitting duck. Yes, these things need to get done. What backups do you have for your tools? Just something y'all may want to think about. There's one that I never thought about right here is a spare set of wheels. But again, Chinese crap, if it's made in China, guys, you need more because it ain't going to last very long. I'd love to find somebody who could make me a set of metal wheels. The gear that turns these things, turns the brushes in there, is metal. The wheels are plastic. Stupid design, but, planned obsolescence. That's, what all these companies talk about. I looked online to see what these things cost. If I want a new set of wheels, it's about $80 for 2 wheels. Okay? I mean, it's a freaking chunk of plastic. The whole sweeper cost me $300 or something like that. $80 just for the wheels. Get your spare parts. Put them in the garage, put them in the shed, bury them in the backyard, wherever you need to put them. But anything, start thinking about the tools that you are going to need in an SHTF situation. And, could I live without this? No, you can live without anything, okay? You can pitch a tent and live there, be like a caveman, no problem. But when you're doing a project around the house, anything, okay, fixing a door, ask yourself, what would I do if I didn't have a screwdriver? What would I do if I didn't have a hammer? That should tell you right there what you need to go get a backup for. We'll see you later if anything comes up. Pinball out.